travel tips for when visiting Cairns, we are going to take you on a behind the scenes look at going to Paronella Park.
You've had a bad week, why don't you last a while? Put your mind at ease.
Paronella Park is a great one-day trip from Cairns City to Paronella Park, which is near Innisfail. It's around about an hour and 20 minutes, give or take, with traffic. You will definitely need to hire a car to go to this location. There may possibly be day trips. I didn't look into that aspect because we had a hire car, but I would just highly recommend having the hire car because then depending how early you guys decide to make the trip, you can stop at some waterfalls, you can stop somewhere for lunch. Just gives you a lot better options than having to do exactly what the tour wants you to do. Now, what makes Paronella Park absolutely amazing and a must-stop on any Cairns trip is it is pretty much just like the ruin of a Spanish castle. It's got beautiful gardens, it's got a waterfall. There are actually 2 crocodiles there that were brought in by a flood. So back in the 80s, people used to swim there, but you definitely don't want to swim there now because it's Australia and you might get eaten by a crocodile. So me and Claire are going to get in the car, we're going to go to Paronella Park and I'm going to show you guys all the beauty of Paronella Park so that hopefully it can convince you that on your next Cairns trip you can go there too. And as always, as I'm a photographer, I'm going to show you all the picture perfect spots where you can get the most Insta worthy photos. Alright, let's go!
So I am filming what you see is a big pointy mountainy thing in front of you. And the reason I'm filming and showing you this one is because once every year crazy people decide to run up it. Yes.
Little spot fires. Hello, big mountain. How are you today?
Mountain big.
Mountain big. Flex.
I wonder if Bigfoot's up there.
Yeah, I can see him. Wait a minute.
Days I had that felt like heaven, I don't ever wanna take them back. All the moments that felt like heaven.
It was me. I thought there was something on me and it was... Yeah, I thought there was something on me and it was me.
All the moments that felt like heaven.
What's the cottage? I don't know. Can you look in it? Oh, okay.
You've had a bad week,
Sabi ko dito.
It's only 39.
I got it.
Bless me.
Yeah, sorry, bless you as well. So we have made it to Paronella Park, and we're going to go on the little tour, which is going to take us all around Paronella Park, teach us the history, show us the sights, see what there is to see.
Yes. A castle.
A castle, that's great. Would you like to elaborate?
So a man built a castle.
Yep. She's a great
We
storyteller.
haven't done the tour yet.
You know what? We'll check back in.
And then I'll know more.
It was really descriptive. I really felt like I went on a journey
There was
with
a
you.
castle and a man built it for you.
In Australia, in Cairns.
Back in 1933, this generator supplied the park with electricity for many years until it received some damage. But then it got restored in 2008 and 9 and again supplied us with electricity. Excess can be exported into the grid, and you may have noticed the electric car chargers on the car park, meaning that you can come here with your brand new electric car and get it charged with a very old 1930s generator. If you wish to know more about this generator, how it works, etc., I invite you to come have a read of this board at the store. And if you still have a desire for even more knowledge, there might be someone in the office who will tell you why you need to do that. In the late 1800s in Catalonia, north of Spain, in a poor family. At age 14, he decided to leave school to become a pastry chef, but that wasn't too profitable. So he was looking for a better way to make his fortune and discovered that Australia was in a dire need of workers. Then, at age 26, in 1913, he came over, landed in Sydney and began working his way coming up north. He first entered Queensland's mining industry, but soon left that job behind. He then came further north until he reached South Johnston, where we have the sugarcane mill and the surrounding cane farms. At that time, we had thousands of cane cutters living in this area. Jose became one of them until another team lost their coup. With his background as a pastry chef, Jose was the man for the job. And he continued this job until he saved up enough money to purchase a piece of land from the government. He then cleared that land of the rainforest, turned it into a cane farm and sold it with profit. Staying here for 10 years, he did that same scheme 12 times over until he saved up a grand total of £30,000. Today, that would be almost $3 million. He was quite a businessman.
Days are never easy. Take a breath and get your thoughts in line. Release all of your feelings. Look up and take a step at a time. These storms won't last. These storms won't.
That top window is where the projector was located, shining through to display the screen on the stage behind you. Now back then this building also had a roof, and up to 300 people could be seated here at one time. On a summer's day it would get very warm and everyone would get very thirsty. And of course the businessman Jose had thought of this. That lower window is where his wife Margarita would sell you all some ice cream. You can see that mirror ball hanging up there as well. Unfortunately no longer the original, but that one was quite impressive at the time. Jose bought it from the United States, where they hand cut 1,270 pieces of mirror and by hand put them all together to make a 1 meter diameter mirror ball. The price was of course impressive as well. Jose paid £600 at the time. That means he paid 5 times as much for one mirror ball as opposed to 13 acres of land. Today, that mirror ball would be about $57,500.
Days I had that felt like heaven, I don't ever wanna take them back. All the moments that felt like heaven, I don't ever wanna take for granted. All the days I had that felt like heaven, I don't ever wanna take them back. All the moments that felt like
Right, let's start at the sun. Alright, please follow me this way.
Jose, who owned Paronella Park and built it, these are some change rooms, and he used to charge people to use the change rooms.
Yeah.
He was an entrepreneur, he was a money maker, he was a thinker, but could you imagine getting charged just to change?
I'd just do it in the bush.
Days are never easy. Take a breath and get your thoughts in line. Release all of your feelings. Look up and take a step at a time. These storms won't last.
Thank you, Mike.
Storms won't last. These storms won't last.
Collect the sand from the river below and go back up to mix the stronger. Later, when you're exploring, go have a look at the grand staircase. You will see 3 green signs. One of them is halfway up the steps. Flood level markers. In 1946, the surrounding area was being cleared of the rainforest when bad rainfall started flushing the logs into the river and down the stream. But it all got blocked by the railway bridge up top, where it created a dam holding back all that water. Of course, this bridge was not built for this. Soon it collapsed and sent down everything at once. The water level rose so quickly, so high, that big building over there was flooded until the roof. The specific location, I truly must insist. The reason for why you may have already noticed if you had a quick look on the ground, but a lot easier, simply look up. Please tell me they're still there.
Yes.
Yes, they're still there. The flying foxes.
They'll poop on you.
Luckily, I'm already on the edge, so behind me is the risk zone, in front of me, not. Now, if after the tour you do not wish to go back up the grand staircase, you can also follow that path which brings you back to the top where we first met. And then behind me is Lover's Lane. built extra wide by Jose on purpose because he loves the idea of lovers being able to hold hands as they walk down Lover's Lane to reach the Tunnel of Love. So with that said, both Jose and myself gladly invite lovers in the group to hold hands as you follow me down.
Should we go check out Lover's Lane, Claire? Yes. Oh, big bug. Alright, let's go Lover's Lane. If my lover was here, we would hold hands and we would walk down. Let's just think so.
You're still fine. To everyone else, do not cross the umbrella. Same reason. I also used to stand over there. I can't. Same reason. Now, this building. The second one where you can go up the steps. The staircase is on the left-hand side. And this tunnel was built by Jose when he was digging clay out of this hill and he knew he had an open garden behind it. He came up with the idea to dig a tunnel straight through, adorn the inside with lights, quite romantic at the time. And then people could go through the Tunnel of Love, exit in the secret garden and gaze upon another waterfall. In fact, Jose wanted to give the big one a name, but someone had named it after their daughter who still lived in the area. So instead, he grabbed some boulders, some concrete, went into the secret garden where he had a little creek, and then he replicated the big waterfall on a smaller scale with the same 3 signature streams and named this one after his own daughter, hence the name Teresa Falls. And that room over there, supposed to be the ticket booth for another idea he had, an underground aquarium. But the fish tanks were made out of concrete, they let out all the water, the idea never took off and the ticket booth was left unused. The tunnel was in fact free of charge at the time. But those would-be aquariums were not left unused. Margarita came over, she changed them into mushroom farms and then used those same mushrooms in her own cooking at the cafes. Now you may have already noticed that the tunnel itself is no longer accessible for us as we closed it off about 10 years ago. But I'll still say that after the tour you can go have a close-up look at the entrance. Go all the way until in front of the barricade, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and if you're that close, you should also be able to smell the love in the air. Okay, maybe not the love, maybe what you can smell are the current custodians. Right now we have thousands of microbats living in the tunnel. And in fact, last year researchers came over and after listening to their frequencies, they confirmed that we have a newly identified species in our tunnel as well. Quite special for us. And I'll now give you the conclusion, tell you 3 prime locations you should go have a look at, and I'll wrap it all up with a thank you, bye bye, and I will be running away. So the conclusion, you know Jose came over and back again with his wife. Built and enjoyed his dream for a little over 10 years until the flood of 1946. 2 years later, Jose passed away due to stomach cancer at the age of 61. The year after, Teresa got married and soon moved on to Brisbane, and a few years later, Joe married a woman named Val. They had 2 sons, but all remained here in the park. A few years after, Margarita decides to spend the rest of her days back in Catalonia, but first to redo the honeymoon. She was, however, unable to complete this one. While still in Scotland, she passed away due to a heart attack. And only a handful years later, Joe himself also passed away due to a heart attack at the very young age of only 39. His wife operated the park for a few more years until Val and Teresa together decided to sell it to a different family, and they operated it for 2 years until the ballroom fire broke out. After that, the entire park was left mostly unused for 14 years until the early 90s, which now brings me to the modern day story. Mark and Judy Evans were a young couple traveling Australia in a caravan with 3 children when they came up to Queensland, found a real estate agent and asked for a piece of land with a motel or a caravan park. The agent got back and said, "I found your caravan park. It even has a waterfall and a castle. Are you interested?" They came to have a look, they were sold, and soon the park was sold to them. In 1993, they bought this place for $400,000 and ever since have been operating it with much pride, joy, and of course enthusiasm. Judy oversees staff and Mark loves doing meet and greet at the entrance, and he was doing the exact same in the first few weeks when an elderly lady arrived and suddenly stopped him in his tracks. A bit embarrassed, she said, "My name is Teresa." Jose's daughter had come over for a visit. They had a bit of a chat and soon Teresa took them on a tour in the park where she grew up in. Showed them all the pathways they had not yet discovered, told them the entire story behind it, and even went so far as to give them a lot of photographs and family heirlooms that are now on display in the cottage. So definitely go have a look at our museum later on. They all remained friends until Teresa passed away in 2008 of old age, living a long and happy life, and was even so kind to sit together with an author to make a biography book of her father's life. Now he came over and built and enjoyed his dream. That book is called The Spanish Dreamer and is available at the shop as well.
So, the guy who built this place, Jose, had this dream that he wanted to showcase the waterfall so beautifully whenever anyone would come on these walks. So, follow me, you're gonna turn, you're gonna see this. Bam! Waterfall.
Well built.
Did your dad zoom on the waterfall?
Oh.
You should dad zoom on the Oh yeah.
Oh.
There's the dad zoom.
There's the dad zoom.
We love a good dad zoom.
All the days I had that felt like heaven, I don't ever want to take them back.
So, Claire saw this one building at Paronella Park and she was like,
It's my
wow.
It's the cutest. It was so cute. It's really pretty. It's tucked away, all intimate. I'm like, I bet you that's got a really lovely story about it.
And I bet you're thinking, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, there must be something amazing behind this building because it's so pretty and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Claire, what was the building back in the day?
It's a toilet. It's a toilet.
Really pretty toilet.
Toilet, have a look.
I mean, you kind of look like you're on the toilet.
The lady on the throne.
So yeah, really pretty, but oh look, oh Claire, you can definitely tell from here. You can tell from here that it's definitely the toilet. It is really pretty though. If you want some of the most Insta-worthy spots in Paronella Park to take your photos, I would argue this is one of the best.
It's a bit nice.
It's a bit nice.
Just put it out there.
It's perfectly lined
this
trees.
is just gorgeous. Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, darling. It's gorgeous. Anyway, we're going to show you what it looks like. And then I'll also put some photos of how you can take your photos afterwards so that you can see that it's very Insta-worthy.
And what's really great about this place as well, like the guide told us, is a pub across the road. So when you're done, have a beer.
Tell me you're Australian without telling me you're Australian. All we heard was there's a pub across the road.
You've had a bad week. Why don't you last for a while? Put your mind at ease, disconnect and let your feelings run wild. These storms won't last. These storms won't last. These storms won't last. I don't ever wanna take for granted.
I don't know, something just went in my mouth. I hope it was not bat poo. It wasn't bat poo. I'm gonna be Batman. When you pay the $57, you get some little fishy food, and so you can go
Little
feed
being the
fishies.
operative word.
Yeah. So let's go feed some fishies. I mean, let's be honest. Is it fishies or the 2 crocodiles that inhabit this area? I don't know.
How cool would it be if it... Oh, there's actually...
They know that I'm here.
Oh, look. There's a lot of fish.
Oh, I just did all of that at once.
Oh. Well, that's the fish food gone. I mean, what sort of fish are they? Seafood, anyone?
It's recording, not taking a photo. I mean, well, the sign said it, so. Claire, I'm confused. It says the perfect selfie is here, but it says the perfect selfie is over there. So where's the perfect selfie?
Everywhere at Paronella Park. Hey!
Like heaven, I don't ever wanna take them back. All the moments that felt like heaven, I don't ever wanna take for granted. All the days I had that felt.
That was our day at Paronella Park. I tried to record a little bit of the walkthrough thing with the tour guide. His name was Bill, I believe. Claire, was it Bill? It was Bill. Hey Bill. He did a fantastic job at teaching us some of the things and the history about the Paronella Park. I would highly recommend doing the tour. It happens every 30 minutes. It just gives you a bit of insight compared to just coming here, seeing the sites. At least you can kind of know why things are here and what happened to them. I thought we would end this video with the fantastic falls in the background. Me and Claire got here a little bit late, but a few things that I could suggest doing on the way to Paronella Park, or if you have time afterwards, is you can stop at Josephine Falls. You could also stop at the Babimba Boulders.
Babimba.
You could also stop at the
Babimba.
You could also stop at the Babimba Boulders. You know what? You know what? It's down here. I'm really sorry to anyone that has just offended. It's just one of those words. So you could also stop there. There is also, I think we were going to try and go to, what was the winery called?
Murdering Creek.
Murdering Creek Winery. You could also stop there. And like I said at the beginning of this video, we had a hire car, which has made the trip a lot easier. I'm sure there are probably tours that would come here, but I would highly recommend a loan car, so then you can just do it at your own pace, get here when you want to, enjoy it as you want to, and not feel rushed, because it is truly beautiful. And make sure you take lots of photos, take lots of videos, and promote Paronella Park so that it can stay open for future generations to come and enjoy.